All right, so walking through the finished projects here in our Mayfair flip. So if you look at the final product, it actually, I mean, it turned out nice, but we just ran into a lot of issues throughout. So let me walk through, and then I can talk to you about some of the issues that we ran into. So basically, real quick, the numbers on this, where we bought it for 180, we spent about 105, and right now it's listed for 440. So we'll see where we land in terms of final sale price. But that's where we were. So in terms of the project itself, it took about 5 months, actually 6 months from start to finish, when we were really expecting about a 2.5 month to 3 month rehab. So a lot of things went wrong, but I can let me walk through, and then I can kind of talk through things. So feedback thus far, we've had it listed for about 2 weeks now. We've had about 15 showings. Feedback thus far is, people like it, but they don't like that the backyard's pretty small. This room that I just walked up, it's kind of weird, right? You have a bedroom, no closet, not ideal, and then you have a whole other room upstairs. So it's like it could be a closet, could be a kid's playroom. It's just a little bit awkward. And when we initially bought it, we were considering, do we get rid of this, build a staircase? But then when you think about the cost of that and the return, it didn't really make sense unless we were going to dormer the whole top floor to give all the square foot, or get all that square footage. So decided against that. Just finish the room, put some carpet up there so it could be used kind of however a buyer sees fit. So this is a 3 bedroom, 1 bath with a basement that's slightly finished, which I'll show you in a minute. But yeah, in terms of the actual product, I think it turned out nice. There were some issues, I mean, throughout the project. Obviously, the timeline going over almost double the time was a big issue. There's also some like quality things that just like piss me off, like this. So if you look, so you can't really use that. Can't use this drawer at all. If I can open this, which I can't. Let's see here. Yeah. So like obviously can't open that. Uh and then here goes the third bedroom. So smaller bedrooms, right? But I mean the project itself from the start, it was just marred by like workers not being here. The contractor, really the general contractor, was really just, I wouldn't say in over his head, but he just tried to grow too quickly and took on way too many projects at once and didn't have the manpower to do the project. So this is a basement. Uh, I mean, you could obviously put a couch down here. Kids could be down here, whatever. You could turn it into a space that's usable. But going back to the project itself, the general contractor just bit off more than he can chew, and he wasn't able to manage this project effectively. So he thought that was a mouse. He just, so in the first 2 weeks of the project, we couldn't get the demo done. The guys were just delayed, and it's like demo should take 3 days in a project like this. We're not fully gutting it. We weren't doing anything to it, and it was just really frustrating because I'd come over and it would look, the same as it did 3 days ago. And I live thankfully 5 minutes away, so it's something that shouldn't, I shouldn't have to come over and check on the project that much. But two, demo in a house like this should take 3 days. So basically, from the start, I didn't quite understand why this was taking so long. Like the guys come in here, they demo whatever, we do framing, and then mechanicals come in, and there was just weeks, like a week at a time, 2 weeks at a time, where just nothing was being done. And I eventually talked to, an electrician, a plumber that was at the house, and turned out that the general contractor was just behind on payments. I think he was just trying to grow too quickly. Probably had, double digit 15, 18 projects going at once. And as a GC, it's like if that's the case and you're growing that quickly, you need to have a whole lot of money because you need to pay your contractors on time. And as soon as you stop paying your contractors on time, they're not going to come back to the property. And then we can talk about the team and them not being trained up to handle things. But the quality throughout the project, the job site throughout the contract was just really messy. It wasn't good quality workmanship and just a good job site to come to. So there were points where I'd come by 2 weeks later, I'd come by again and I'd get these updates like, oh yeah, the plumber's coming by, and then it wouldn't be done. Or the electrician's coming by, it wouldn't be done. So overall, you know, with this project, I've learned to just one, I require that I have like weekly check-ins with the general contractor. So the way they had it set up was uh they would just send an email on a Friday with an update. And I couldn't really get a straight answer on like when people would be there. And my whole thing with flipping is I want to understand the sequencing of things. So we talked about demo, you have framing, and then mechanicals. It's like we should know that the plumber's going to be there on Tuesday because the demo and the framing is going to be done. And then the electrician potentially could also be there on Tuesday so they can work concurrently and get things done quicker. Same thing with the HVAC guy. So when you know the schedule and you know how long things are going to take, then you be able to coordinate this in a much cleaner fashion, which he just did not do whatsoever. And part, a lot of that is probably just because he wasn't paying his guys. So yeah, so it took 6 months. The finished work, I mean, it's good, but there were also some other things where like, and this was my mistake, but didn't get a so I didn't get drawings for this. So like this, you have this space here where it's like I would have gotten a bigger cabinet. Over here, I probably would have put open shelves so you don't have this weird kind of open area. Obviously, this is a huge oversight of just not being able to open the cabinets. Uh so I don't necessarily want to be more hands-on because that's the point of the general contractor, but I've learned to obviously like be able to pick out the kitchen, uh and basically even this like the vanity, it's not a bad vanity, but I didn't pick this out, and I have no issue with this, but I realized that for flips anything, I need to build out an actual SKU list of different rehabs. So one thing I'm working on is building out basically three tiers, three styles, or let's say tiers of SKUs for like a rental, a medium grade rehab, and then a nicer rehab. So then it's just plug and play, and I could send the contractor everything that I want. But in terms of yeah, overall project, obviously numbers are really good still. It just went, 6 months longer. And the really annoying part of that is it was supposed to be listed probably end of July, August, and now we're in December today. But this got listed end of November. So we missed a huge buying opportunity, and we'll see where things end up. But it was just really bad timing. And, the holding costs every month are going to be, probably 2,500 bucks. But in addition to actually more than that. So they'd be, close to 3 grand a month. But in addition to that, because of the market, we might have lost another 15 to 20 grand. So it's like these things have impacts and, uh, cost you money. So, overall, like projects more or less done. Obviously, you have to get it sold, and that's a big piece. But uh, I've learned a lot. And if I'm going to learn on a project, it's good to have this amount of spread. So, besides like inconvenience and annoyance on my end, this project will still turn out as a profitable deal. So, as my first flip, alone, feel good about it. So let me know what you think. Let me know your thoughts. If there's anything that you would have done differently, or yeah, any thoughts, just let me know. And feel free to follow along. I'll be posting more videos like this with walkthroughs and commentary, and would love to hear your thoughts.